Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Cameron Pick and Matt Carey, partners at Marshall Gerstein, an intellectual property law firm in Chicago. From their client-side experiences advising Fortune 500 companies, engineers, and others about the metaverse, cryptocurrency, NFTs, and blockchain, particularly as it relates to their trademarks, patents, and inventions. It is great to have you both with us. Thanks for joining us. And Matt, let's start with you first. Why has there been a spike in trademark applications for metaverse use cases?
Hey, thanks, Joe. We're excited to be here. So I think it's maybe helpful if I start with a brief definition of the metaverse. So think of the metaverse as a graphically rich virtual environment where people can work, play, shop, and socialize. So companies and brands have their physical products, their apparel, their handbags, their shoes, etc., and they have their existing trademarks on these products. However, these trademarks don't necessarily extend into the virtual world. So we're seeing these companies look to expand their trademark protection by filing these additional trademark applications and specifying virtual specific goods and services. So virtual goods, virtual stores that sell these virtual goods, NFTs, cryptocurrencies, these types of things. So not only we're seeing this with companies who are in the metaverse and dipping their toes in, but it's important for companies who are just contemplating getting into the metaverse to think about ways that they can take these appropriate steps to make sure that their brands are adequately protected. And I will say that over the last couple of years, the United States Patent and Trademark Office has seen a significant spike in these trademark filings as more people enter the metaverse and spend more time in the metaverse.
Cameron, what are the issues with metaverse versus real-world patents?
So as Matt mentioned, companies are looking to file trademarks for the metaverse to protect their brands. But in addition to protecting brands, companies may want to look into protecting their products in the metaverse. For example, design patents cover the look of a product. One really famous design patent is Apple has a pen over the rounded corners on an iPhone. So you can imagine in the virtual world, in the metaverse, someone may be using a cell phone or a virtual cell phone that has rounded corners. Also, as virtual reality technology gets better and better, you're going to be able to have really advanced touch sensors to actually feel the weight and texture of objects in the virtual world. So companies may want to think about protecting their components and functionality of the products for the metaverse. And so there's a few ways to do that. They can file patents specifically for the metaverse implementation of those real world products, or they can file patents for the real world products and just include some additional explanation that this could also be implemented in the metaverse.
So Matt, what happens if people in the metaverse make virtual replicas of real world products for sale?
Right. So just as Nike wouldn't like if I went downtown and opened up a t-shirt stand and started selling t-shirts with the Nike swoosh on it, companies are not going to like similar activities in the metaverse. There was a recent case where an artist created a set of NFTs that depicted the Birkin bag made famous by Hermes, and Hermes went after this individual for trademark infringement. And this individual is contending that the NFTs are merely artwork. But so far, the judge has not necessarily agreed with that. And I think this case will be an interesting development into the protections that these trademarks are afforded in the virtual space. I think it's important to mention that in the metaverse and in the virtual worlds, there are often anonymous individuals looking to make a quick buck. So it's important for companies to be diligent to identify potential activities in the metaverse that is not authorized by the brand holders, so as to not dilute their brands.
And Cameron, can NFTs be used for IP monetization to engage consumers directly to own rights or portions of rights to patents or copyrights?
So yes, they can. So normally when people think of NFTs, they think about digital art like Bored Apes or CryptoPunks, but a very practical application of NFTs is to monetize IP. So the NFTs can represent patents, trademarks, and copyrights, and someone can then sell that NFT or a fraction of the NFT to another user to monetize their IP. And we're starting to see some marketplaces for this pop up. There's a marketplace, RMDS NFT, that is exclusively for presenting IP. And there's a few very clear benefits of this. You're going to create a liquid speculative marketplace for IP that really just hasn't existed in the past. And then on top of that, for non-accredited investors who previously aren't really able to invest in private companies, a non-accredited investor could purchase an NFT representing the IP or a portion of the IP, and that can be sort of a way to invest in the private company, particularly if that company's value is very closely tied to their IP's value.
And Matt, just a quick follow-up question for you on the Hermes example before with the Birkin bag. Is there any precedent yet for NFT or patent in the metaverse, or are you still using existing law? Could that potentially be a case to set precedent as you move forward, or how are judgments being made at this point?
Yeah, so this is probably the most notable NFT or metaverse-based trademark case right now. There are a few others, notably Nike has a case against StockX. I think that this case will be a good glimpse into the future of what are the protections afforded to trademarks in the metaverse. Of course, using existing law, but we are seeing, again, going back to companies looking to expand their protection in the metaverse, and they're doing it by explicitly identifying virtual related goods and services on their trademark applications.
All right, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.